Welcome to What She Said Podcast with Shanae Hall.
Welcome to another episode of What She Said. We're here at Atlanta Doppler Studios this time because I got a super special guest, and he's single, but I'm not going to tell you about that right now. Let me introduce my guest first. Homegirl Tina Shaw. She came back with us again. My homegirl JJ is sitting in with us today. My mom couldn't make it. She out with the vids. So JJ, say what's up.
Hi, I'm JJ Jennifer at J Star Studio.
And I got my boy, Bryan Michael Cox. You may not know the name, but he sure as hell know the game of music. There's so many accolades I could give him. I don't even know where to start, but I just found out that you was in the Georgia Music Hall of Fame. And I was like, who are my friends? Wait, who are these people? And then I was reading numbers like 100 million album sales. And Mariah Carey, Mary J. Blige, Usher, Justin Bieber. You done touched albums on everybody.
Pretty much everybody.
So, but that's not why he's here today. He can talk about music all day, every day. He's here today to talk to us about relationships. And I want to know how this man has remained single for all these years. And you got all this access, opportunity, options. And it's just you. What? In Atlanta. Let's go on ahead and get right on into it. Ladies, y'all ready?
I'm ready.
Brian, you ready? You might need to clean them glasses again.
Yeah, I'm good.
You got your beverage?
I'm good. I got my beverage, you know what I'm saying? We got it there. We gonna chill.
Let's go. Before we get into the relationship side of it, I have a question more on how the music, or how you believe the music affects us as a people. If you look at the way women are disrespected, belittled. I mean, I know that you're more in the R&B industry, but you're in the music field, 100%. So you understand the dynamics that I talk about to my kids, how things have changed from, I want to make love to you, I want to put a ring on it, I want to be your forever person, I want to pay your bills, your rent, your light, your gas, I want to be your mother, your father, your puppy. You know what I'm saying? Like, and now it's like, I just want you suck my dick and keep it moving. How do you think that it partakes in what's going on with our culture?
That's a great question, and it's a conversation that we have like all the time. I mean, it's among songwriters like myself, and Jonte, or JQ from Talk with the Twins from Jagged Edge. Like, we still make R&B music, and with me and Jermaine, we have these conversations. With me and Usher, like, we still make R&B records and love songs and things that that we were making 15, 20 years ago. We still are in that business. There was a time when our parents was coming up, you know what I mean? And, there's just things that it was just a no-no. You just didn't, you know what I mean? It was certain artists, and they were kind of constricted to a certain genre, like a Millie Jackson or something like that. They were constricted to the blues, you know what I mean? And that was very underground. The blues was like underground R&B, right? So you could get the, records like Candy Liquor and stuff like that, you know what I mean? That your mama didn't listen to, which was super ratchet and nasty. You know what I mean?
But you had to go get that.
You had to go, and you had to dig.
I was going to search.
That was Richard Pryor days.
You know what I mean?
Right, you had to listen to it on the album. You wasn't just going on Netflix.
Yeah, you had to go find that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Mainstream music was you had to be clever. You had to be, especially if you wanted to talk about sex and things of that nature, you had to do it in a way that was almost innuendo, or the most blatant you would get, like 83, the 82 and 83, Marvin Gaye and the Ozzy Brothers came under fire because Marvin Gaye had a record called Sexual Healing, and Ozzy Brothers had a record called Between the Sheets, and radio stations wouldn't play it. But the records were so hot, it was like, we gotta play it. You know what I mean? But think about lyrically what those songs are. This super surface, super touch and go. It's like, it's nothing. It's not crazy. You know what I mean?
That's the same thing.
Crazy.
Right? That's the whole point.
It's,
what I'm saying is, we had to almost, like, when you listen to that Prince song, when he talks about she had all the horses or the Trojans. I was like, it wasn't until like 2 weeks ago that I was like, oh shit, he's talking about sex this whole song.
And talking about she basically was a promiscuous.
Yeah.
So which is why the record was such a smash, because it was like he took kind of a rock approach to writing songs, right? But even Prince, knew that in order he had some songs that were way dirtier than that, right?
Yeah, he did.
But for me to have a hit record, You know what I mean? There's a record on the album, on the same album called Let's Pretend We're Married. And that record has all kinds of curse words up and down in it, right?
Okay.
And that's a record that's on the album. You know, you would never... Nobody ever play that song on the radio.
But people were still getting married. People were still...
and the name of the record was Let's Pretend We're Married. So the concept of it is still like...
same. This is what you do when you're married.
Exactly.
When you're married. So there was still the innuendo of if we get married or when you're married, then you can do these things. So let's pretend like we're married. But now people are not even... They're like, no, I don't want to really date. I don't really want to... you know what I'm saying?
I feel you. Like I said, it goes back to the same thing. Is it art? Is it life imitating art, or is it art imitating life? Right. There was a lot of raunchy shit going on in the 90s. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean?
Right.
But as hip hop and R&B becomes more meshed and more connected and more integrated sonically, the ideals of hip hop seep over into R&B, and the ideals of R&B seep over into hip hop. You fast forward, you get an artist like Drake, who becomes like, you know, the person that women look to from a lyrical perspective. Like, he's saying all the things that women want to hear. Life is happening, and these creatives are just speaking about their life. So I don't feel like it's the music leading the way. Okay. I think it's life leading the way, and people are just speaking on their experiences.
So you know really think that at this point in our life that predominantly women are just fucking for sport, are not wanting to get married, are not wanting to be in relationships, are not wanting to establish the solid foundation that at least even with my parents wanted to?
I think that's what I think it's a front. I think it's a defense mechanism. Do you see what I'm saying? I don't think it's what they really want. Do you know what I mean? This gap is so big now between men and women. You know what I mean? And a lot of it has to do just with the onset of just the evolution of life and where women were in the 50s versus how y'all are now, and men having to adjust to y'all's rights. You know what I mean? I feel like what it is now, think about it. People talk about, my grandparents were married for 50 years. Because my grandmother had no choice. Right. In the matter. You know, in the 50s, my grandmother couldn't, what she was going to do? You know what I mean? With 8 kids, you know what I mean? 9 kids and
12 kids.
You know what I mean? Like,
and 10 cents an hour.
Yeah. What was she going to do?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So you said, okay, cool. We get into the 70s and the 80s, late 70s and the early 80s. This is the introduction of the career woman. Because now this is also when single shit is going crazy. Single moms, single parents. Is that everybody who has a single mom, we're around all my age.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean?
All of us.
So think about this. This is the introduction of the independent woman. Okay. Right? Because it becomes necessary. It's like, yo, this dude left me hanging. I got this little kid. I gotta fucking enter the workforce. Right. Now, I'm making money. Now the idea of the independent woman, this is where it's created. It's created out of a straight need. Right. You know what I mean? Not even at this point, it's not even about a desire. Like, I'm desiring. In the 70s, it's not even about like, I'm desiring to move up the ladder. It's really like, I gotta fucking survive because this fucking dude. You know what I'm saying? This fucking dude knocked me up and fucking left me hanging. Right. You know what I mean? But now I gotta fucking figure this shit out. You know what I mean?
So as we're trying to flesh out the answer to the question, is it that women have changed so much in our thinking that it's changed the relationship?
The dynamic. Absolutely. Like, men are the most sensitive motherfuckers on the planet.
I was thinking that verbatim, but you said that. Can we toast to that, please?
Like, we can't take nothing.
Nothing. Yeah.
Like, as far as when it comes to relationships, women, shit like that, something go down, like, most of our reaction is based on emotion. We're emotional as fuck.
Oh my God. Really?
Right?
Is that why y'all pull away so much? Like
100%.
Oh, so like everything could be going great, it's going smooth, it's going good.
Men are emotional as fuck.
But I'm saying like this morning we woke up, this afternoon everything was all good. Then by the time the night time come, y'all on one.
Men are emotional as hell, especially black men, because there's a level of trauma that we've never dealt with. You know what I'm saying?
What do you see in black women that we're traumatized by? Like,
I feel like you guys feel like you're not appreciated.
True.
Right?
Very true.
I feel like there's a level of insecurity that has nothing to do with looks, has nothing to do with, you know what I mean? It's just always being looked over or looked past or having to, it's almost we have the same kind of traumas. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? But black women have to deal with it kind of like head on, especially if you're raising kids. You got to deal with the shit head on because if you're raising children by yourself, you got to deal with that shit. You have to basically, which then in turn hardens you in a way. Like my mom, I look at my mom. My mother's a great woman, a beautiful woman, raised me, did everything in her power to make sure I was all right, right? And that was her life. It was like, and my mother was a career woman, and she didn't take no shit from nobody. And I think back, and I'm saying, well, because she had to face her traumas every single day. Every day, she had to look herself in the mirror as a dark-skinned woman, from island descent, working her way up the ladder, you know what I mean? And having to deal with all these different levels of just shit. You know what I mean? You got to deal with white people in the 80s. You got to deal with the colorism of our culture in the 80s. You know what I mean? The 80s was super heavy. Like, colorism, we can talk about colorism now and deal with it on the table. In the 80s, it was not even, that wasn't a conversation. It was like, you a black bitch and you light skinned. You know what I mean?
Right. No,
that's what it was. It wasn't, you know what I mean? And it was a serious issue. The two things that happened in my life that really, really shaped how I view women, shaped my attraction to women, the whole shit. The very first thing was, when I was like 7 years old, I went to the school, Askew Elementary. The school had, when I was fifth grade, it was like 6 black kids in fifth grade, right? So all of the kids were white, you know what I mean? So when you're interacting with, every day, you build relationships, you build bonds. You have your first little crush, your first little whatever. My first little crush was a little white girl named Constance. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I'll never forget it.
Okay,
right?
Constance.
So
she should have stuck with you.
My mother, Constance ain't my mother discovered that I was entertaining or engaging with this girl, Constance. And literally, when she found out, pulled me aside, was like, yo, listen, that is not going to fly. Like, one thing is not going to happen. So you better not bring no white bitch in this house. That was her words.
To a 9-year-old?
Yeah.
She meant that. But
Mom's hardcore.
He said my mom was fucked up. Mom was hardcore. Well, damn.
Well, but you understand.
That was because her experience.
And she's a child of the civil rights movement.
She does her
you know what I mean?
experiences.
Them people they were like, yo,
different shit.
You will. They're gonna kill you. Her perspective was, you can't do that. You can't do that.
Right.
Your life is in it. You know what I'm saying? You can't do it. Right.
Okay. Yeah.
So to
meaning
this day,
it was in danger or something.
Yeah. So to this day, like, I've never been like, I mean, unfortunately or fortunately, whatever. I don't know. I've never been attracted to white women. I've always been in the space like, if I see a beautiful white woman, I'm like, she's pretty for a white girl, and it's just that.
Right.
I could never engage, never just be like
a white girl.
You know what I mean? It just, so that's the first thing, and all this stuff happens. Programming when you're a kid, that shit affects how you become when you become an adult. You have to deprogram yourself. You know what I mean?
Right.
Independent, thinking, brilliant, headstrong women is what I'm attracted to. I know how to deal in a room full of alpha women because I was grew up number with alpha women. You know what I mean?
And you're
I'm super
Sagittarius.
laid.
I just figured I'd throw that out there.
Yeah, and I'm Sagittarius. So I'm super laid back, right? You know, alpha women would test you.
All day.
You know what I mean?
Till the wheels fall off.
And I'm a person that's like, I know you're testing me. I'm not going to give you any energy. I'm not giving you nothing, but you have to.
You have to.
Oh my
So
God.
then, so
if you want her to
the question is, why
No,
are
she's not
you?
gonna let up.
How did you go this long being single? Why are you single? Right?
Absolutely.
This is the answer. I'm attracted to what I'm attracted to, right?
Right.
But I'm also not with the bullshit. So if I know it's bullshit, if I know that you are just doing shit to get a rise out of me, I'm not the person.
Okay.
To give in.
Yeah.
I'm
So
not that person.
let me give you some insight. As a true, I would consider myself a true alpha female. I've known you for
It's been a long time.
a decade.
It's been a long time. It's been about 10 years.
Yeah. So I'm gonna tell you this. As an alpha female, it's not just testing you to get a rise out of you. I'm testing you to see how far you'll let me go. And that lets me know where we stand.
Here's the problem.
Okay.
Is I actually know that that's what you're doing.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? I'm not going to give you the fucking gratification.
Sometimes the test ain't just to see your power that you got over a man.
Exactly.
Sometimes the test is to see where you stand with that man.
Whatever that girl's thing is only to test where you're gonna go.
I get it.
Now I personally experienced the other side of it, where I don't ask for shit, I don't step out of line, I don't demand nothing. But I was married from high school to damn near 30 with a nigga that played no games. Like, you wasn't gonna talk to nobody. You wasn't gonna dance. You ain't gonna laugh. You ain't gonna put them lashes on. You ain't gonna have no makeup on. You wanna fucking sit in this house. You gonna have these kids. I was with him from 13 until 30 years old.
Damn.
The first person I met, I literally met him in the hallway as a
Get
freshman.
the fuck out of here.
You and nobody else.
Nope, and I was like, I'm gonna marry you. And his mom was like,
Where are you from, Shanae?
California?
That is some motherfucking backwoods South Carolina shit.
I met
Wait
him when
a
I was
minute.
13.
Yeah. All right, so
Right, that part.
all right,
Started 13.
so my question to you is, so 13.
13.
You didn't date anybody else?
No, not one person.
Even y'all didn't break up at high school,
we
college?
We broke up in college for like 6 months.
When you became single, right? What was there a part of you that was like, all right, I didn't experience like a lot of life in my 20s. Let's see what life has to offer. They're like, did you say, let me, and with no regrets, no regards, no, just like, you know what? Let me just see what life has to offer.
I don't think that I did that. I remember my first sexual encounter after being divorced. I was like, is my pussy gonna work? True story. I just kept thinking, I don't know if it's gonna work. I don't know if it works with other people. Does it work with other people? I swear to God, I just kept saying it's gonna be dry, it's gonna be horrible, he's gonna hate me, and then the shit worked, and I was like, oh nigga.
It probably worked really good too. I mean, only one nigga for like 20 years. That shit probably worked really amazingly.
You're everything that somebody would want, right? Successful, educated, smart as shit. But at the end of the day, you have never been married.
I've never been engaged.
Why?
Okay, so
Let's get to the point. Why?
Okay, so we're gonna personally. When I first came to Atlanta, right, I was dating a girl I was in high school with. High school. I was in love with her, and my perspective was I was gonna get married. Like my plan when I got to Atlanta and I came to college. We both came to the same school, and then I started working. I started really kind of making some moves out here, getting on with Noontime, working with different people, and it started kind of moving. Now, before that, right, we spent every second, I mean, outside of class, we didn't, you know what I mean?
Wow.
Like, every motherfucking second, we spent
that's that old
together.
School,
you know what I mean?
School love,
like,
yo.
literally,
real for
like,
real.
no, dog. I'm trying to make you understand.
Yes.
Like, I knew her class schedule, she knew my class schedule. You know, she lived in Beckwith. I lived, you know, I had a house like up the street. Like literally, it was every waking moment every moment that we were not.
That's when you really liked it.
Yeah. Every moment.
But that's how you had to do. Did you had to call on the phone? Did you have a pager?
I had a pager by then. In college, I had a pager by then. But we were literally, we spent every moment together. You know, every moment. And I even outside of class, we spent every moment together. Right. So when I started going on noontime and interning and working or whatever, she was always with me. You know what I mean? She was there, right there with me. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But what happens is we both were young. Mm-hmm. We both were super immature. Mm-hmm. All right? Mm-hmm. And when I started having to work a little more, you know, there were some sessions that she couldn't come to. Mm-hmm. There was some things, you know what I mean? That started creating a wedge between me and her, mm-hmm. right? And eventually, there was enough of a wedge for her to be like, you know, I'm going to break up with you.
Right.
Now, hindsight's 20/20. I go back to the test. She only did that because she was testing me. Mm-hmm. But I took it very, very personal. I took it like, my heart was completely, I was completely devastated.
And I think that's the part women miss, or men miss, is I'm telling you, okay, then this is not going to work. Your job, for men that don't know, is to say, let me fix it. I don't know if you guys know, so I'm going to give you game from a woman's perspective.
Let me fix it.
I need you to fix it. If I say, Ryan, you're working too much, and you say, Shanae, well, Nick, what you want me to do?
Well, that wasn't that.
I'm just saying.
That was my response.
No, but I'm saying
time.
hypothetically, you're automatically saying, I don't care. In my mind, and I know this has nothing to do with real life, but in my mind, you automatically said, I don't care about your feelings.
So you said, like you said, that has absolutely nothing to do with real life.
Right, it would nothing to do with real life.
It has nothing to do with real life.
Because
it has nothing to do with it.
You said...
What you just said is all in your head. It has nothing to do with real life, Shanae.
I have to agree with him. That's what that's how you...
Shanae.
That's how you want it to go.
Shanae.
Right, not listening.
I said, my plan, I only wanted to save like $100,000.
Okay.
Right? I was like, yo, I'm trying to produce records. I'm getting paid like $10,000 a record, $7,500 a record. Just bullshit records. I'm doing bullshit artists. Right. Noontime's put me on the low artists initially. Then I started working with Jagged Edge, and then I worked with JD. So it started happening. Right. But I wasn't making a whole lot of money. I wasn't making like $50,000 a record or $7,000. I was making like $8,000, $10,000 a record. My plan was once I got to $100,000. Nigga, I'm getting married. I'm buying a house. It's rap. Boom. That was my plan.
That's what I said. In your mind.
No. Let me finish. You ladies are absolutely correct with that. Mm-hmm. Even though we did talk about it, right? Oh. You are correct. That was
in your mind.
No, it wasn't in my mind. I spoke it.
Okay.
But it was my plan. Right? We never talked about our plan.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
And that's
she wasn't mature enough to express that. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So what happens is she breaks up with me, but here's the deal. I learned a valuable lesson about our breakup, right? Mm-hmm. Especially at that age. Maybe now it's different because we're older.
Right.
But at that age, 19, 20, 21.
Yeah.
Most women are not going to initiate a breakup unless there's something else happening. There's a plan B. Like, women are planners. Whether the plan B is fully executed or not, there's something happening. There's something brewing. No. Hear me out.
Okay.
Hear me out. Even if it's not, it may not be nothing, right? Mm-hmm. But there is if the nigga's a good nigga and y'all just having some issues, right? If it's not like, oh, this dude is cheating on you and fucking over you and beating you, you know what I mean? Like, that's different.
Right.
You know, if it's toxic,
right,
then that's a different thing. You know, women will initiate a breakup if it's, but it also takes it'll take a while.
Right.
Yeah. All right? It'll take a while, right? In this situation, I got the call, okay? It was like, hey, now mind you, we talk every day, all day, this, that, and the third. I get the call, like, hey, yo, I can't do this no more. Now, I've been talking to her all day. So I'm like, do what? What the hell are you talking about? You know what I mean? She's like, I can't do this no more. I'm like, do this. What are you talking about? When I say that, it went so over my head. You know what I mean? So she had to basically say, yo, I can't do us anymore.
True, in some cases, you have some women, it's a number 2 in place. But a lot of times, mentally, y'all done left us to think too long where we think wrong.
Yes.
I just told you in my mind, you don't care.
Like, we done conjured up. It's not that it's somebody number 2 or nothing.
Yeah.
We're playing in our mind like, I'm just not happy. He's not hearing me. He's not seeing. He's just doing him. And we sit there with our collective thoughts where we could be wrong as hell. And then listen though. We sit here having these private conversations in our head, talking to a third and second person.
Right. I should know better, right?
Yeah, no,
no, I'm saying now. Now I should know better.
But a lot of times, like we're sensitive too.
This should happen to me 4 years ago. This is why I should know better.
We build up
this
these emotions because we feel like, look, we be thinking he don't like me no more.
He don't like. I just told you.
He don't care.
He don't care. I told you.
Like, and
he's not
we build all
He's
this
not
up,
interested.
and that's why.
So ladies, so basically we're saying what I've been actually saying to people for the past couple of months is that obviously communication is key, right?
Absolutely.
Because that's fair, right? I mean, as far as like what's happening in your head, that is fair, right?
Yeah.
If we were having the conversation, right? Let's say that she said that to me. At 43, right now, I expect
it'll be different.
If we're dating and you're having these feelings, I swear to God, you're a grown ass woman. Come talk to me.
Right. Mature. It's maturity.
But in our 20s, I get it, right? Or late teens, early 20s, you don't know how to articulate it.
Right.
In my mind, right? And it's sad. If you think about it now, it's really fucking sad. Because if she had said that, you know what I mean? My response would have been like, girl, do you see how much money I'm saving? I want to marry your stupid ass. I want to be with you. It would have triggered that conversation.
It would have triggered an understanding, though.
But at that age, you don't know.
Like,
you don't know how to articulate.
So here's
you know what I mean? You don't know.
Your relationship was set up on time. It was set up based around spending time.
From 14 years old to 20, right?
Okay.
So you understand, as a young person,
so
you
now
didn't even,
I'm attached.
You didn't even realize that.
Right.
Yeah, I'm attached.
That's our routine.
As a 21-year-old man, I didn't even recognize that.
So why is it not like that today? Shit. Why you can like somebody, like nobody want to get attached, whether it's the chick playing game or not you playing game.
I'm telling you.
She don't want to get attached. He don't want to get attached.
People don't want to be vulnerable. I just told you, nobody. Everybody is protecting their heart.
But the minute you break the mold of what you've been doing, people think like crazy, like, oh my God, okay, so he didn't call me today at such and such time. You know, it's a routine thing. You create a pattern. And when that pattern is broken, you start
like, what
thinking,
the fuck is
what is going on?
That nigga cheating.
Yeah, but
he got a bitch. Oh, you got a bitch. You at the studio with your bitch. I know you at the studio with your bitch.
It's so hard to connect these days. Like it's hard to connect.
We just told you why.
No. It's
people don't want to be vulnerable.
It's not even
people don't want to be attached. People do not want to be committed.
I think that's
Bryan, that's why you here. Because without you here, we would be sitting around doing this circle you see going on, and you would have no thoughts, and we'd keep going in circles.
I think the art of love has been lost.
The pursuit of success has altered everybody's perspective. You know what I mean? So you have the independent woman who's killing it, 2-3 degrees, own business. We got a lot of them.
Right.
Yeah.
We got a lot of them. Yeah. You know what I mean? Getting that paper. You know what I mean? Got a lot of them. The pursuit of that has overshadowed the pursuit of a relationship. For men, the pursuit of getting the bag, because we think the way that men identify or equate the bag, I can't tell you how many times my homeboys say, or men I know, they say, yo, get the bag, the women will come. you get the bag first, and you get whatever woman you want based on the bag.
Right.
And,
Based on the
and
bag.
that's nothing. If you
Get your money up.
If that is the culture, right?
Right now.
If the culture is go get the bag, you know what I mean, and you get the woman that you want. You know, if you got $20 million, well, your energy's different, your swagger's different, your boom boom. You get the woman you want, right?
I got a question
right?
then.
So
What's 10?
everybody is chasing. So women is like, I'm independent. I'm gonna be top boss bitch. This, that, and the third. Boom, boom, boom. And the dudes is like, I'm getting the bag. Boom, whatever. And nobody is
Focus on getting together. We ain't making it.
Nobody get together. Everybody
Where we at though?
Everybody separate.
Everybody is trying to.
But do you think that is derived from social media?
Before
Because
social
what
media.
we
It's before social
see
media.
before that.
True.
I just think
But
I think social media.
I just think
I think social media
It enhanced
definitely enhanced it. But it's before social media.
It's done tainted it. It's
Social media is trash.
I think social media is trash.
it's a
Because
song.
it is somebody who you know, on the onset of social media, you know what I mean, when it was, on the onset of social media, when it was MySpace and Black Planet and in the golden era of YouTube, you know what I mean, I was very, very involved with all of that, with YouTube specifically, like early on, you know what I mean, and then Twitter, Facebook came along, Twitter came along, Instagram came along like 2010, you know what I mean, so, and these things start out like, it's just like little, you know, fun little quirky things.
Right.
And then the shit turned into people's actual
Fake
livelihood.
Fake lives.
livelihood.
Right.
Livelihood.
Yeah.
Livelihood.
No, the shit is insane.
Yeah, they're
right?
making money.
So to kind of segue into what we were talking about 4 years ago, when I said the same shit happened to me 4 years ago. You know, so listen, I learned that women,
Pointed to everybody in the room? Everybody?
y'all,
This is good.
no, y'all choose. Y'all
Yeah,
choose.
we do. Yeah.
Y'all choose. So here's the deal, right? Me and I could tell you every mistake I made in this last relationship. So that's not, I mean, I'm also not a person that's like one-sided, like, oh, she did me wrong and fucked up. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a person that can break it down and say, well, I could have handled this better.
Okay.
If I did this, maybe this wouldn't have happened.
Okay.
Or, you know, I mean, I don't try to hold the blame, but I do look at life as a two-way street, right?
Okay.
So me and my baby mother break up. I start dating this girl that I've known for a long time. This girl who I actually used to date before I dated my baby mother, right? Before I even knew my baby mother. Started dating her. I mean, literally, like, knew that when we started dating, knew that I was done. I was like, yo, if I get this girl, it's over. I'm out the game. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's, you know, because I never had that. It had been a long time since I had that feeling, like that, that energy, right?
We engaged, and we getting some
We
good
got
juice
time.
right here. Now you said it was a feeling.
Oh no, it was like no. It was like, what was? Can I tell you? It was ill, right? So me and my baby mother had broken up, right? And I had moved out the house, or I was moving out the house, but I was living at the studio. So I would always come back to the house to spend time with my kid, see my kid, whatever. So it was one time I was at the house with my son, and the girl called. I hadn't talked to her in forever. She reached out for me and was like, yo, I hadn't talked to you in a long time. And she was like, it was crazy. I was thinking about her, and she called me.
Wait, why was you thinking about her?
Because I always just think about her.
Oh, so she never left. She left an imprint on your heart.
I was
Oh, you broke it down there.
This is real. Like,
So I would always think about her, you know, I would always think about her and be like, damn, man.
So guys really do have, y'all have that.
I'm telling you, we're fucking
Y'all have
sensitive, we're
that
soft
thing.
ass, we're soft.
I love
She
it.
be saying that. She be like, nigga, he gon'.
So she called me and we were having a conversation. I hadn't talked to her forever. How I met her was at the family function. She's like an extended part of my family. Like her cousin is married to my cousin, and we were all like this at this family function, and that's how I met her. This was before I met my baby mother. So I met her at they threw my mom a birthday party, and she was at the party. This is how I met her. So off and on throughout the years, off and on, then I got with my baby mother, and it was off. And then when it ended, she called me out of nowhere, like, yo, what happened? Like, what happened with me and you? Da, da, da. Like, and I was like, yo, I don't know. You know, shit happens, life. Right. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it was like, well, you know, me and my girls, we're going to Vegas, and you probably should come, you know, visit, you know, come see us in Vegas, you know. Cause she's like, I mean, are y'all still together? I was like, no, we're not together. We broke up, you know. And she's like, all right, well, you need to come to Vegas, right? So I was like, cool, I'm going to Vegas. But then what happened was like a week later, a dear friend passed away. Like my friend Erica passed away, and Erica was very, very like instrumental to like my life and what was happening with Idris, and she was very, very good friends with my baby mother, and it was just like, and even my girlfriend who ended up being my girlfriend, she knew Erica too, so Erica passed away, kind of threw me off, and I was like, yeah, you know, I'm not going to come to Vegas or whatever, you know what I mean? So I ended up not going. Then what happened was one of my cousins got married, and she was in the wedding. So I ended up going to the wedding, and she was there with this dude, and this shit fucked me.
Did it?
I never been in this space where it was like, yo. My cousin was like, yo, man, she did, you know, a dude here, dude. I was like,
You know, our dude here, though.
my cousin wasn't fucking with him. My cousin was like, man,
So let me ask you this before we let you get out of here on this segment. What is good sex to you?
That's a really good fucking question.
That is, I'm like, yeah.
That's a really good question. It's the physicality. It's not just the act of sex. It's the physicality of the skin on skin. It's the oneness. You know what I mean? It's the what, like, it's fucked up because I feel like I might be sounding crazy, but for me, it's the oneness. It's not about just getting one off. It's like, you know, I want us to be in a space like what, like how do we? Well, let's get to that beautiful space where we're both, you know what I mean? Like that's what I mean, for me, I want to get to the space. It's not just about getting one on. Like I think that's probably why. Like somebody asked me, this is crazy. We talked about this when I was celibate for 2 years.
Okay.
I was celibate for 2 years.
Oh, wow. How long do you take before you take the condom off?
In a relationship.
Yeah.
I was always a stickler for condom use. You know what I mean? And my baby mother, you know, called me one night. You know, caught me out there, and I felt bad about it. I was like, yo, damn, you know, is this cool? You know, like I didn't mean to, you know. And she was just like, no, we've been together for a year. We're at this space. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I trust you.
That was okay, cool.
I don't think you cheating on me.
And that was the only time like I ever like was like, because I was an advocate. I'm an advocate for safe sex. So before that, I never even thought about like taking the condom off. That was the first time that it
So
ever
that was the
happened.
only time you took your condom off? Is the one time you conceived your son?
Oh, no. I'm saying that was the first time. No. I'm telling you that I use that as an example to say that I leave it up to the woman.
Oh, okay.
I leave the discretion up to the woman.
Oh.
So if we're together and, you know, as far as I'm concerned, I'm going to keep using it. But if we're in a space and you're like, oh no, we're good. If you're good, then I'm good. You know what I mean? Yeah, then I'm good. Then I'm good. If you're good, then I'm good. You know what I mean? But you know, I'm not the person to be like, hey man, we've been fucking for 6 months. I'm not that person. It's like, you know, whenever you feel like, no, I'm good. Are we good? You say we good? We good? We good. Now I'm never putting that motherfucker back on that. But if you say we're good, we're good. You know what I mean? You know, I'm that's where I stand with it. You know what I mean? I'm not a person I'm not a stickler for them. I'm like, yo, hey man, we need to take this condom off. I'm not that person. You know what I mean? It's like whenever you feel comfortable, if you feel like, well, we've been together 2 years or we've been 6 months or whatever.
What if it's been 3 days?
I've never been that. It's never been that close, but
Yeah, that's you throwing the dice on that one.
yeah, I don't know if I'm doing that.
Right.
You throwing the dice
It's like
on that.
that means that that means you've done this before.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
You've done it 3 days before.
That's what I say. You've done this before.
You know what I mean? So, but then I've had people ask me questions like, okay, well, what if you're talking to somebody and y'all talking, y'all been talking for 6 months,
Right.
7 months, and
Yeah.
no sex has happened,
Right.
But you guys have been talking. There's like a trust that's built there. Would you do it then? I've never been in that place.
Okay.
But I can't say what I wouldn't or wouldn't do in that situation if it's somebody I feel like I know,
Right.
even though we haven't had
Been
sex
intimate,
yet.
right.
If I feel somebody I know and I trust and I fuck with, and we've been talking like every day, like for 6 months. You know what I mean? That's a whole nother conversation. You know what I mean? But you know.
Well,
Dang.
the thing with Bryan is you can talk to him all day, every day, and he always has insight. I ain't gonna lie, when the cameras go off, I'm still gonna be talking to him.
100%.
But I want to thank you guys for joining in another episode of What She Said. This has been amazing. Bryan, thank you so much for joining
Shanae,
us.
whatever you wanna
Wait,
do.
you and Toast? Where you
Toast
cup
one
at?
more.
Go ahead and pull out your Chick-fil-A cup.
It counts.
Thank you so much. Make sure you tune in next week. Keep it popping. Real conversations. B. Cox, thank you, babe.
Of course, boom.
We out of here.